Hey everybody, taking a look at the S&P 500 as we get ready to trade Tuesday, February 18th, returning from a long holiday weekend. Here is our S&P 500 roadmap. Just taking a quick look at what prevailed on Friday. So coming into Friday, the main agenda was to try and make a weekly all-time closing high, a new one over 3329.62. This is where we first made this. This was on Friday, January 17th. And then the following Friday, we failed to close above it, even though we were making new all-time highs and new all-time closing highs. We failed to close a week at a new all-time closing high above this one that was set here. So here was one Friday, then here was Friday the 31st, and we know that was one of the worst days, trading days that we'd had since back in the fall. And then here was last Friday, not the Friday that we just traded here, but last Friday. And you can see that we started off at a, challenging the all-time high that we had made the day before. And then at the very end of the day, we broke down below this 33.29 level, and we really fought it at the end, and we wound up closing that day at 33.27 and change. So it really was just shy of it. So coming into the week on Monday could have gone either way, because this really should have been a bullish day for us, because we had that's why there's an arrow above this candle, as we had the jobs report that day. These arrows that I put on here always have to do with either the Fed or the non-farm payrolls jobs number. And it's just to mark those so that I can see where they are quickly on a daily chart. Anyway, so we had this really bullish jobs number, so it was really disheartening that we sold off the way that we did at the end of the day, because it meant, coronavirus kind of took priority over a positive jobs number in the U.S. Well, then on Monday, I guess over the weekend, things weren't as bleak as they seemed. And on Monday, we came in and we got the kind of day we should have gotten on Friday. We got this huge bullish outside reversal day. I mean, this is classic. We opened basically on the low and closed basically on the high. And we completely engulfed the previous day's candle. And then, from there on went the rest of the week, until we got here towards the end of this week. And we got into some trouble here where we made an all-time high and an all-time closing high on the 12th. Then on the 13th, we made a new all-time high. And overnight coming into this session, ES had made an all-time high. We couldn't meet and match that high that had been made overnight. Sellers came in. And even though we kind of recovered the day a little bit here, we did not make the required all-time closing high that was needed. So as we came into Friday, anything went. Anything could have happened. And as the day progressed, towards the afternoon, we were all the way down here, trading at our low of the day, challenging this previous day's open, and maybe turning today's, Friday's candle into the opposite of what this one was. This was a big red brick as we got to the low of the day. And had we been allowed to break 33.65, where the previous day's open was at, I think we could have at minimum doubled down on the day. And that would have probably gotten us, right down here to test the 10-day. And if we had broken the 10-day, it would have been very simple to break back below this 33.29. So this was, shooting, had this level in the afternoon. You can go look this up for more information on it. But the White House is trying to propose a plan where they give middle class families the chance to invest tax-free in the market. They're just trying to get more people into the market. And that turned everything around, and we saw a huge buy program. And for the last half hour, we had $1.5 billion market on close to the buy side imbalance on Friday's close, going into a holiday weekend. Highly unheard of. We usually never see something like that. We closed almost on the very high of the day. And we got our new weekly all-time closing high and our new daily all-time closing high, because we closed just above where we did here on the 12th. So a very bullish end to the week indeed, and this bodes very well for us to continue on through to our next two targets, which, going back to the last video from last weekend, I said we were going to go up to maybe 34.14 to 34.25, and those have to do with this double bottom low that we've made for 2020. So far, we have twice visited 32.14 as our low for the year. And then the next level comes from the closing low made here for 2020 on January 31st at 32.25. So my next two targets were a clean 200-point jump up from there to 34.14 to 34.25. Then I started thinking after this bullish catalyst happened on Friday, that led me to make that new video that I posted earlier in the weekend that talks about even further upside above 34.25. If we are to go into OPEX next week and settle monthly OPEX up there above 34.25, I think we're going to go even further, and that's what that video talks about. But for now, let's just focus on where we're at. And where we're at is that we closed on our all-time closing high for daily and weekly time frames, and we're looking to move towards 34.14 to 34.25 as our initial targets, our initial next targets here. As far as what happened over the weekend with ES, here is a 15-minute chart of ES. Here is where we came in on Sunday's open. I'm sorry, this is it right here. Here was Sunday's open. And you can see that we opened and we have traded holding a gap open above where Friday's close was, which was also a weekly all-time closing high for ES as well. We traded up to yet another new all-time high at 33.9250. We still have not even settled this one in the light of day with ES at 88.50. So now we have yet another even higher one. When we add the spread, this is going to see S&P at 93 to maybe 93.25. So the S&P trades about anywhere from a half a point to a full point above where ES is right now. And the lowest that we traded since putting in that high over the weekend was down here to 33.8575. So tonight, if we see an even higher high, you know what's going on. You know that we'll have to resolve that, and that just keeps raising the bar higher and higher for us to resolve on the S&P. If we do not break this 33.8575 level, you can see why. It's going to be because this was the lowest we've back tested, and if they hold that in place, if they don't hold this 33.85 in place, then I would expect for the Sunday open to hold as the low and hold this little gap open here as we go into Tuesday and get to trade this out in real time. And if we can hold all this together, we're going to go on up for 3,400, if not 34.14 to 34.25 on the S&P. Subtract a half a point to a half point for an ES equivalent. So maybe 34.13 to 34.24 on ES would be matching targets there. Okay, hope this all made sense. Enjoy the rest of your long weekend. And as always, good luck and good trading.